Hello and welcome. You're watching Unplugged TV India. This is Alice Francis. Let's catch some major updates from around the world. Pramod Sawant takes oath as Goa Chief Minister for second consecutive term. Pramod Sawant, who led the BJP to win 20 seats in the recently concluded election to the 40-member Goa Assembly, was sworn in as the state's Chief Minister for the second time on Monday. Goa Governor P.S. Sridharan Pillai administered the oath to the 48-year-old Mr. Sawant in a ceremony at the Dr. Syama Prasad Mukherjee Stadium near the state capital Panaji. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, BJP National President J.P. Nadda, Himachal Pradesh Governor Rajendra Arlekar, former Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis were among those who attended the event. Sawant took the oath in Konkani language and his ceremony marked the second time that a Goa Chief Minister was sworn in outside the Raj Bhavan. Bharat Bandh Day 1, Kerala, Bengal, Punjab, Delhi among others see impact. A two-day nationwide strike called by a joint forum of central trade unions kicked off on Monday with banking and transport services hit in several parts of the country. On day 1, Kerala saw deserted streets, Bengal witnessed protest on train tracks, and the impact was felt in Delhi, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh and Haryana too. The Bharat Bandh protest, says the platform of central trade unions and sectoral federation and associations, aim to draw attention to government policies which have been defined as anti-worker, anti-farmer and anti-nationwide in a statement. Some lawmakers were also seen backing the protest in Parliament. In Kerala, a majority of government offices remained closed on the first day of the strike. Empty streets defined the start of the protest in the southern state. Farmers' body, Samyukt Kisan Morcha, has also backed the protest. The Bharat Bandh is also one of the biggest protests since farmers' agitation was called off last year. The farmers are set to hold the next wave of demonstration in April. No hijab inside exam hall, says Karnataka Education Minister. Just a day before the Class 10th board examinations in Karnataka State, Education Minister B.C. Nagesh said that no students will be allowed to wear the hijab inside the test halls. Hijab will not be permitted inside schools or universities according to an edict issued by the State Minority Department. The order of the High Court does not apply to private schools and colleges because the government has presented its case to the court. A quote as follows: "We have decided that students wearing hijab or any other religious apparel would not be allowed inside the examination hall in accordance with the Karnataka High Court judgment. They can wear the hijab to campus but they must remove it before entering the hall," said Nagesh, who toured the districts of Gadag, Bagalkot and Hubali. He further stated that students who miss tests will not be given a retest. Students who do not receive passing grades, however, can take supplement tests later. He went on to say that because of COVID's disruption, 80% of the syllabus has been completed and questions have been assigned from these sections. Some global update. Biden's butcher remark on Putin certainly alarming, says Russia. The Kremlin on Monday expressed concern after US President Joe Biden called the Russian leader Vladimir Putin a butcher over his military operation in Ukraine. This is a statement that is certainly alarming, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Kov said reporters, adding that Moscow will continue closely monitoring statements of the US president. It said, "We will continue closely monitoring statements of the US president." During a visit to Poland on Saturday, Biden dubbed Putin a butcher who cannot remain in power. Russia says relations with China at strongest level ever. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov on Monday said Russia's relations with China were at their strongest level ever. The statement comes at a time when Western nations are seeking to isolate Moscow with unprecedented sanction over Ukraine. Beijing has repeatedly voiced opposition to the sanctions, insisting it will maintain normal economic and trade exchanges with Russia and has refused to condemn Moscow's action in Ukraine, but the government is wary of Chinese companies running afoul of sanctions. China's Shanghai faced lockdown amid fresh spurt in COVID cases. Shanghai chose to institute a phased lockdown in the city on Sunday because to a large increase of COVID cases in China. The current COVID outbreak in China is similarly to the early stage of the pandemic. Earlier this week, China's high-tech Shenzhen city, which has a population of over 17 million people, became the latest to shut down in order to manage the COVID-19 outbreak as the government battled to contain the deadliest virus outbreak. In the last 2 years, in a statement, city authorities urged the residents to work from home and to step out only to buy daily necessities. Citywide lockdowns have been imposed on millions of people in affected places across the country. Shanghai, on the other hand, had escaped a complete shutdown so far, with officials claiming that it was critical to keep the Eastern Chinese port and financial hub open for the sake of the national and world economies. Women in Afghanistan not allowed to fly without male relative. According to reports, the Taliban has instructed Afghan airlines to bar women from flying unless they are accompanied by a male relative. The guidance issued by the Ministry of the Promotion of Virtue and Prevention of Vice, which also called on vehicle owners to refuse rights to women not wearing headscarves, has drawn condemnation from the rights activists. The move followed the Taliban barring many women in public sector roles from returning to work in the wake of their August 15 seizure of power, and as girls remain largely cut off from secondary schools. It also came despite the group seeking to project a moderate image internationally in a bid to restore aid suspended when the previous government imploded during the final stages of a chaotic military withdrawal by the United States. Late Sunday, 2 employees from Afghanistan's Ariana Afghan Airline and Kham Air reported the Taliban had instructed them to avoid boarding ladies traveling alone. They have, however, reversed 2 decades of achievements won by Afghan women since August. Women have been forced to leave the majority of government positions and secondary school educations, as well as being forced to dress in a rigid interpretation of the Quran. After schools reopened on Wednesday, tens of thousands of girls returned to class, but officials forced them home mere hours later, spurring international outcry. Thank you for watching Unplugged TV India. This is Alice Francis. If you like the video, please hit like, subscribe and share. Thank you.